Recently at the Golden Globes, Ricky Gervais completely called out everybody in Hollywood. It was a beautiful moment. And I'm not being exaggerative. I'm not, trying to just say all this because of my video that I'm putting out right now. I mean, no one's going to see it anyway because of the whole entire algorithm with YouTube. But I'm also on BitChute as well, though BitChute is a much better site for that kind of content. No algorithms that are gonna, do anything against you and build walls in front of you, literally throttling your account. But anyways, what I wanted to say is that, so during the Golden Globes, Ricky Gervais did call out, the whole entire Hollywood established media in a lot of different ways, and really, those ways are going to be remembered forever. Now, Ricky, he has led so many and he's hosted so many different Golden Globes in the past that I think he's hosted it like 6 or 8 times. And I just have to check because I do want to be factual about this. But according to what I saw online, I don't even think I have it on here right now, so I'm probably gonna have to type this in. Oh no, I'm typing this out of my video. No. So let's see. So yeah, he was in the Golden Globes for 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 16, and then finally it was for 2020 for this year. Because this host is experienced. They have a lot of experience with the Golden Globes. It's not just one time in their life that they're going to host this type of event. But instead, no, they have hosted the Golden Globes quite a lot in the past. And it seems like they're almost like the main host. Like America's Funniest Videos, how they have the main host that's also on Dancing with the Stars. How do I know this? Because, wow, I hit my chair. I'm so nerdy. But, how do I know this? It's because you do see the same hosts that are familiar with other different shows, and then you recognize them, so yada yada. So that's why, okay? Let's start out by saying everything, and the first thing that starts breaking the ice, the first thing that really starts dramatically happening during the Golden Globes when Ricky is hosting is the fact that Ricky starts calling out what happened with Kevin Hart last year. If you don't remember, I made a video last year, and a lot of other people did too, and this was an event. I mean, of course, if you're new and you're watching this, you have no idea, but if you've been following along with, my page, with my videos, then you would remember my video last year, and that I did do one on Kevin Hart. So he made a tweet back in 2011. We're in 2020, that's 9 years later. That was about, 8 years and a half or whatever, 8 to 9 years last year, right? And he was being in trouble for tweets from his past that people wanted to dig up because they said that it was, just, against different homophobic beliefs, because he said he wanted his son to think a certain way or do something or whatever. I don't know, the factor is that he, because of tweets from 2011, even if he apologized, he was not allowed to host the Golden Globes as a comedian. I mean, as a host, a comedian, that's wrong because of a few tweets. And he was punished for that. So immediately, Ricky starts just going in on that and starts talking about that and talking about how Kevin Hart was punished. Honestly, if anybody ever gets anything from my past and they try to use that against me, I mean, I'm a growing person. I'm progressing. I make mistakes. And if I've ever said anything, done anything, hurt anybody's feelings, I mean, I can change that over time, I guess. I know it sounds kind of horrible, but, I think that, people, they generally do have faults that are kind of like that. But they have disagreements with people, or they may not, always have a perfect relationship. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff in life, right? But the thing is that, hey, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, and when you only expect that from somebody. That is really, really messed up. Another thing I wanted to add is one of my favorite moments is in the crowd. Tom Hanks literally drops his jaw to the floor, and it is the best reaction from the audience. I mean, the whole entire audience. If you can see the original monologue, the whole entire audience, literally, like, all their jaws are like, oh my gosh, is he really saying this? Like, people are freaking out. They are seriously freaking out. I'm not kidding. Just a guess, but what I think what was happening is the fact that he decided to defend a lot of different celebrities, a lot of different people in the public because of them being censored, because of them being banned. Look at what happened with Kevin Hart. It was because of a tweet from 2011, like I was saying. 2011. Are you serious? And that was supposed to be for 2019 for those kind of awards. Now, he's bringing that up a year later. There's also another thing where I'm not saying, when I do mention videos where I've talked about in the past, I'm not being like, oh yeah, this is where I was worried about stuff. I'm just like, generally this is where I was talking about something because this is my channel. This is my own video, so therefore I'm going to talk about that, right? That's just kind of common sense. But anyway, though, so I had a video a year ago where I was talking about Kevin Hart. I was talking about all this stuff happening, and I did say that eventually people were going to get sick of this. Do you just think that everybody's just going to, like, seriously, we have celebrities, but do you think that every single person in this whole entire country is just going to bow down to the fake Hollywood elites and the fake Hollywood corporations? No. Like, we have the chance now to do what we want to do because of something like a phone. I mean, honestly. So it's like, if you can go on a phone and you can make something happen for yourself, you go down to the library, you can read a few different books and get your same type of education, then yeah, why settle, right? So times are a lot different, and I think this shows more than ever now that people are done with that kind of fake kind of Hollywood style that we've always had that with movies, and that's okay, or even like TV shows. But I think that people, they just crave something a little bit more realer. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but what I'm gonna say is that I think that people want something more real, where they know that it's the truth. It's not something that is scripted. It's not something that is, sat around for hours to make something that is just so concrete and fake. So yeah, Ricky Gervais is totally a legend, and his last year of doing anything, making a scene like this, being remembered like that, what a legend. I mean, honestly, I feel like he just said what everybody thought, and I think everybody had that in their own mindset. And the whole entire thing is that, do we really care about Hollywood, or do we just care about the rewards that they put on? Do we really care about the content that they put out and what they're going to give to us? In a society where we can control things, where we have the device, we have the control ourselves with a phone. After all those years literally hosting the same event, and he's done, I mean, there's a lot of other people too. Now, first of all, that was Kevin Hart, or anybody in support of Kevin Hart. Why? Because they actually wanted to say that he wasn't going to be a host because of different tweets that he had in the past that were so offensive. They weren't even that offensive too. If you go back and you look at them, they weren't that bad. They're not that bad. Not compared to what other people have said in the world, not compared to like what you could possibly say. No, they're definitely seen on, let's see, you have mild, you have hot, and you have extra hot, and it is definitely mild. So I don't see why anybody thinks that that was quite a problem in the first place. The situation with Kevin Hart, they carried on over and over and over, and that was going on last year. Then now I don't see anybody actually carrying on an issue with Ricky. It's really funny is that after somebody actually calls out Hollywood, how they are, what they are, and what they're doing, nobody will say anything. I've seen that a few different times, not in this style though. This is completely different, a complete original. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I'm not exaggerating, I'm being very serious. Honestly, I want to know who's actually going to host the Golden Awards next year or the next year after that. I mean, I don't get it, because I don't think a lot of people even take it seriously anymore. I mean, how many people my age, how many people even way younger than me or even like a few years older than me, nobody uses cable news. Nobody uses cable for their television provider. Usually everybody is usually using like Netflix and YouTube and I don't know, Twitch or something like that, or Hulu. Okay, nobody cares about cable news. It's just not what people are doing anymore. Like a lot of people, I guess they can have that, at the same time it'd be more of a waste of money because nobody even keeps up with any of the shows that are on there that are familiar with those kind of bases, with those kind of, audience, right? So Hollywood has officially the number one, I would say, Golden Globe host go off on them. Mario kind of went off too with Candace Owens. And you saw what happened with Kevin Hart last year, but then again, that wasn't like a voluntary thing. Like he just started freaking out and he just wanted to express his opinion. That was literally brought back, dug into his past from 2011 to use against him so that he couldn't host that. And that is messed up. That's so screwed up. I'm really glad that Ricky mentioned that and first off, started defending him from last year, because then it really gave, I'd say Kevin even more of a voice. He had a really good voice last year because a lot of people defended him because he is well known, obviously. But then again, too, I would say that was like the perfect moment. How come nobody was really rushing to try to defend Kevin Hart at all? Because they were scared. They didn't want to get banned too. They didn't want the ban hammer to all of a sudden strike them. So they all just shut up, let it happen because it wasn't them. Roseanne Barr completely went off, and there's a lot of other YouTubers that are quite young actually expressing their political beliefs. I'm not just talking about, basic Taylor Swift kind of beliefs where all of a sudden you just wake up and everybody's just a Democrat overnight. Not that kind of thing. I'm talking about something a little bit more sincere than that. I see in America, at least, is that we're beginning to somewhat be able to express our political beliefs. Even though there was a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, there's still going to be a lot of chaos and a lot of, consequences because of that, because people obviously, life, that's going to happen. But, otherwise, maybe after all the fuss, like later on, we can talk more and more about our own political beliefs, talk about policy, what we want to see change, like literally in our own country, our own state. And I think that that's a really good thing. Imagine how many people that have made it, that have a platform, that actually have a voice and can make something happen in our country, for the good or for the bad, but they're not really able to discuss different policies or like politics. I mean, that really is not good. That's like totally biting your tongue in situations. And yeah, of course, it really depends on the kind of person. I mean, everybody has an opinion, but it doesn't mean that your opinion is necessarily going to be right or that it's going to be wanted by the public. Definitely wanted to go over some things, and this definitely has to do with Ricky and the speech and some of the stuff that he said. Now I don't have everything memorized, so I have to go back to it if I want to be, factual and correct, okay? So basically something that was really funny too is that he said, do I pander to the 200 privileged egos in the room, or do I try and entertain a global audience of 200 million people sitting at home who aren't winning awards? That already is really deep. So, after that, he really starts just going into a lot more people and making jokes and everything like that, which, I mean, I'm not gonna say every little joke because obviously that would be really long. I would have like literally a 2-hour video just talking about stuff. Okay, whatever, you get it. So he makes a joke about Jeffrey Epstein, which I think that's really important too. So after he jokes about that, he's like, yeah, because they're all friends with him anyway, and so that was funny too. But to be a little bit more controversial, I'm gonna go to the good stuff, which I'm almost there. So, God, I'm like horrible at explaining stuff. I feel like, I don't know, whatever. Okay, sorry, I found it. Okay. This is amazing. Why am I clapping? Do you ever get excited about something and just like randomly do like some clap? Like, do you see like people do that? I've seen people do that. I just did that right now. It's funny. So he said this. He starts going on talking about James Corden and the movie Cats and how horrible that is and all that kind of stuff. Then afterwards he goes, it's the last time, yeah? Who cares? And talks about how like everybody wants to talk about how they have a bunch of dignity and respect and that they're green or they're for the environment, but yet, you know, a lot of the companies that they have are run in sweatshops in China. So that doesn't even make sense in the first place. That's like saying, I am the healthiest person ever, but I smoke like 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I mean, that wouldn't make sense. Or you smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, have Krispy Kremes, go to like In-N-Out and Chick-fil-A, that kind of thing. Like, it's not that those two things don't work together, then you're not so healthy if you're putting all that in your body. So that's a good example as well. But also saying, well, you say you're woke, but yeah, I mean, the companies like Apple, Amazon, Disney, and the rest, he says, I don't even want to say because I don't want to get in trouble on here. Just to make sure. If this was only on BitChute, if all my content was only on BitChute, like all my pre-recorded content, not like live streams or anything like that, if it was all on BitChute, there wouldn't be a problem with like, well, I mean, I can't say whatever. I mean, there's still laws and there's still like, I can't be like completely hateful and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? I just hate the restriction, YouTube. So, my favorite. So if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Cannot talk. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. If you win, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay? It's already 3 hours ago. Right, let's do the first award. Excuse my language. I just realized. Well, I don't get monetized anyway. But yeah, I try not cussing in my videos, and that's all out the window right now. That really wraps it up with me just talking about Ricky and his part with really what all happened. That whole entire fiasco that I think is just like a masterpiece. It really is. I'm not being over exaggerative. I've never seen anything like this. When I saw this, I wasn't shocked though. I just kind of looked at it and I smiled and I thought about last year, what happened with Kevin Hart, and I was like, that's crazy, literally, that happened. Wow. Like, I'm still literally in shock. Moving forward, I wanted to talk about the butterfly effect next and how this is actually affecting us right now. Like, currently, this minute, as we are speaking, I mean, this is, you know, obviously not the same time that you're seeing this, but you know what I mean, okay? So, I'm gonna look at my computer again, and I'm gonna try to like throw some pictures around through my edit, but this is not going to be on a screen recorder. I'll do some videos like that, kind of like Tim Pool style, like not Tim Pool style where I like have an article or anything like that, but so that I can like show you and go like small screen. I mean, obviously he didn't invent that, but I don't know. I'll just call it Tim Pool style, right? It's kind of funny. So, the butterfly effect, in all seriousness. I was talking about this too, and just because I talk about something in a video, then like kind of something happens later on doesn't mean I'm gonna be like, oh my god, like let me talk about it. But another thing too, because I know I did talk about that earlier in my video with another video for this video, but okay, we're still not lost. I was talking about the butterfly effect last year. Now, it didn't have to do with anything with politics in the video that I was talking about, but it had to do actually with, you know, social media pretty much like encouraging all this nomadic behavior, that you can just travel the world and you don't really have to work a job, you can do what you want, like, you know, basically almost be like a traveling homeless person. So that's not a reality, and a lot of people now are, you know, not in good shape because of that. A lot of van dwellers, a lot of, you know, other people. I don't think that there's like necessarily a problem if you want to live in your van, but I'm just making an example because I feel like a lot of people like on Instagram, they believe that there is this nomadic, wanderlust kind of lifestyle, that they could just travel in a van, they could travel the world and do what they want. And a lot of bad things have happened to people, where generally they just have gone into a financial pit, or they've traveled to different parts of the world where they thought it would be okay, where they thought they could do really anything that they wanted to do and they could just communicate with people and everything was going to be sunshine and rainbows. But it's not like that in the real world. So, you know, some people have actually ended up in violent situations as well, and that's not good. So that is the butterfly effect in the real world. There's also like that movie on it. The movie's a little bit weird. It's also a good movie, but it's weird. It's like one of those movies. It's not my favorite at all, definitely. It's a weird movie, but the concept and the movie itself is kind of cool too. The butterfly effect would exist without the movie anyway. It is, though, in case you don't know what it is, it's the phenomenon where basically it's like a minute where you're gonna have like a change in a complex system, okay? But also, what you do, like what I do right now, even though I'm in a room, I'm on a camera, and I upload to, you know, YouTube, to BitChute, I post it my Minds, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff, that can still have an effect. It depends what I say, it depends what I create, and I literally could almost like make a crazy movement for the better, for the worse. So that could have the effect that we call, you know, the butterfly effect. Why am I mentioning the butterfly effect though? I mean, the importance of this is showing you that whatever happens online, not everything, not like a simple meme, not like, you know, simple stuff. There's a lot of things online that is just pure entertainment. But some things can carry out to the real world and actually have a real effect. And then all of a sudden, that starts, you know, having problems grow, and then that's not good. Well, I don't want to carry this video out too long. It looks like I've been talking for quite a while, but hey, it's a good video. I'm really glad that a lot of people are waking up in our country and can see what's going on when you have the host call out like basically all the celebrities, the faces on them. Like, okay, Tom Hanks, his reaction, you saw everybody else's reaction. It was really, really funny. It really was. You can tell who kind of agreed with things because they were laughing, and who disagreed because they were in absolute shock. So I really like that. But hey, on that note, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna have another video coming very shortly. It's actually gonna be, you know, before a week, and that is, you know, gonna be in the next few days. Within, I'd say, like 3 days, 2-3 days, and I am working on something. So yeah, check back in the next few days and I'm gonna have something. And if you want to support this channel, you can go to my PayPal at Living Capone, or you can also, go to buy me a coffee at Living Capone. It's an alternative to like something like Patreon. So yeah, I will check you next time.